So last night, the Boston Celtics got themselves a nice win over the 7-seeded Charlotte Hornets in Boston, and the Celtics have now won 10 of their last 14 games. With the team suddenly climbing up the Eastern Conference standings, I think we should talk about why this Celtics team looks to be finding their rhythm at just the right time. What's up guys, SCJ here, and if you enjoyed today's video, then make sure to give it a like as it helps out a lot, and if you're new to the channel and or enjoy the NBA, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. So as mentioned previously in the intro, the Boston Celtics got themselves a nice win over the Charlotte Hornets last night by a score of 113-107 at the TD Garden in Boston, and it's impressive that the team was able to hold off the Hornets despite LaMelo Ball's career night of 38 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists. If you know NBA basketball, then you very well know that this Boston Celtics team has some talent on their roster. In terms of their star duo, Jayson Tatum was a top 3 draft pick back in 2017, and he looks like the best player in that particular draft class, and Jaylen Brown is in his 6th season of his career, yet he's continued to grow so much that after 5 seasons, this is really the first year where his stats have seen any real downtick, as the reason for his drop in stats in 2018 was simply playing less minutes. And even with that, he's starting to pick up his stats a bit as he started off a bit cold, but now he's really heated up. The team also has some nice players surrounding those guys, such as Marcus Smart, Time Lord Robert Williams, then Dennis Shroeder and Josh Richardson, among some of their other solid rotational pieces. Even with that talent though, the team has had their struggles this season, and if we look at even as recently as January 6th of this year, things weren't looking too good for the Celtics as they suffered a loss to the Knicks and fell to a record of 18-21 on the season. However, it seemed that was really the point where this Celtics team woke up, as like mentioned in the intro, they have now won 10 of their last 14 games following that game, and they've looked pretty solid as well. If we look at the team's scoring prior to this recent stretch of games they're on, the team was in the bottom half of the league in scoring, coming in with the 16th place ranking in points per game. In terms of field goal percentage, the team had the 8th worst field goal percentage as well as the 8th worst three-point percentage on the season as well. Now, during this 14-game stretch, while you can see their points per game have gone up from 107.9 per game to 108.6 per game, they actually have dropped from being in 16th place in their first 39 games to 19th place in the league in terms of points per game ever since. However, the Celtics shooting has improved enough to put them in the point where they're in the top 10 in both field goal percentage and three-point shooting percentage. The Celtics come in with the 10th best field goal percentage, shooting 46.8%, and the 7th best three-point percentage, shooting it at 36.2% over this recent stretch, which of course are very solid percentages. Looking at the rest of their traditional stats from the start of the season through January 6th, the team was only top 10 in 2 areas as they averaged the 9th most rebounds per game as well as the 2nd most blocks per game behind the Washington Wizards, and the team was just 0.1 blocks off of tying the Wizards for the most blocks per game in the NBA. So in terms of their traditional stats such as points per game, shooting percentages, rebounds, assists, etc., they weren't looking too great until this recent stretch of games. However, the one area that they have thrived in the entire season is the defensive category. From the start of the season through the 6th of January, the Celtics had the 7th best defensive rating on the season, which put them among some very solid company. The team also was 11th in least amount of points given up off of turnovers. They were a fraction of a point off of being top 10 in least amount of second chance points as they came in 11th place there, and the team did a great job of protecting the rim as they came in with the 6th place ranking for the least amount of points given up in the paint. And they were also a fraction of a point off of the next team, this time a fraction of a point off of being top 5 in that category. The team also did a nice job as they were holding off their opponents to the 8th worst field goal percentage, as well as holding their opponents to the 2nd least amount of assists as well. So the Celtics are clearly a very solid defensive group, but if we look at their defense ever since January 6th, the team has looked even more impressive. The team has had the best defensive rating in the entire NBA ever since that point. The team has also held their opponents to the 10th least amount of points off of turnovers, the 4th least amount of second chance points, the 8th least amount of fast break points, and the 2nd least amount of points scored in the paint. If that's too small of a sample size for you, then we can look at the team's defense ever since Christmas. If we extend the statistics back to December 25th through today, the Celtics still have the best defensive rating in the NBA, and they are nearly top 10 in every defensive category once again. And most importantly, they hold their opponents to the worst field goal percentage since Christmas, as well as the 11th worst three-point percentage as well. Then finally, the Celtics have given up the least amount of points per game in the NBA since December 25th also. So clearly this Celtics team has stepped up their play as of late, and their already great defense has even improved as well. I think the big thing for the Celtics has been that they've needed time to really just click and figure it out. And even with that said, I still think they need some time to adjust to one another and grow, as they've seen some huge changes from their former head coach Brad Stevens taking over front office duties, and someone I had the privilege of covering during his time with the Nets, Ime Udoka, leaving Brooklyn and heading to Boston to take over their head coaching job. Also, this roster has continually seen adjustments over the past few seasons, and I think making acquisitions at the trade deadline could be a huge thing for them this season. I think another reason one or multiple trade deadline acquisitions could help them is the fact that they could definitely use a boost to their offense, as they've been in the bottom half of the league in terms of scoring for the entire season. The only flaw I've seen when watching this Celtics team has really been the fact that they have struggled in clutch time situations, so if they can make adjustments to that, whether that be the game plan or just changing their personnel, then I think they would be in a very good position going forward this season, as they have gotten some nice wins, but have also struggled recently against teams such as the Hawks, Blazers, 76ers, and the Hornets in their past meeting prior to last night's contest. Like I said though, this team has gotten some nice wins despite their flaws, like their win against the Suns on New Year's Eve, or the fact that they're 2-1 against the defending champion Milwaukee Bucks this season. But if they can improve their play in clutch situations and not blow leads, they'll be in great shape, as even last night, they almost lost that game as their 11-point lead with 4 minutes left evaporated rather quickly. So anyway guys, that is the breakdown on this Celtics team and what they need to fix going forward, but I want to know what you guys think about this Celtics team, any of their players, or just anything having to do with the team down below in the comment section. If you made it all the way through to the end of the video, then I appreciate it, and like I said before, if you like this video, then make sure to give it a like, as it helps out a lot, and if you're new to the channel and or enjoyed the NBA, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell, that way you stay up to date for all the newest content on my channel. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm SCJ, and I am out. Peace.